So yeah, walking around a desert. That's pretty much what UFO holiday is. It's ideally it's coming to a beautiful place, hanging out with people, getting away from all the UFOs. Never seen a UFO here. Just seen big skies, moon rises, some really cool stuff. Sun sets at 8:25. I need to put the moonrise on my phone. Well, I'm at a loss for words. I'm really confused about what to say. What has value? What is modern conversation? What are we talking about? Can we become learned in all these different areas? I could know everything about 60s edgy rock bands and become an expert in the ephemera of our shared experience. What? That's where fiction has... What's left? Where do we go? I mean, is it more sophisticated technologies, but still like going to be like furtive sexual liaisons? I mean, are humans going to remain human and only the technology really changes? Or what does consciousness do? Have we hit terminal velocity for consciousness? For drives, the things that drive us? Are we at the end? What do we have left? I mean, again, maybe I'm so far away. Maybe I'm so alone and far removed from people for so long that I have lost touch, that I no longer know the unifying elements of our culture. It could be that, but I think part of it is that we have hundreds of millions of people in America, and that's enough to have multiple cultures simultaneously. And then I think that maybe I'm not a part of any of them, which was an attempt to gain perspective, but it may just be that I'm alone in the wilderness, just lost without a nation. And I feel that, but I live in this modern situation where I can have a battery powered vehicle take me anywhere I want to go, and I can see this beautiful world. Is that true? Can I? I mean, I don't know, I'm just making that up. I drive a little like super scooter and go fast and try to spend, it's 68 grams of carbon per kilometer that I produce when I'm driving. And so I invested and planted thousands of trees. 14 years ago I started this process to offset my carbon. So, doing my best, really trying to get that carbon offset. And but I don't know anymore. I don't know what makes us want to be human. What makes us want to be greater than the next consumer experience? I mean, part of me has to acknowledge that I'm just in it for consumer experiences too. I mean, I'm just doing this because I love beauty. I want to consume beauty. And I want to see a beautiful world. I want to be part of a beautiful world. And I don't want to intrude on that world or denude it. I want to experience its richness and disappear as a gift. You know, when you're gifted beauty, it's something you can't buy it. It's like love. You can't buy that. You can perhaps buy the emulation of it, but you can't fake it. And so that's the thing you sacrifice when you're alone, is intimacy, partnership, closeness. People, maybe we are designed to not be solitary. I mean, clearly, reproduction, right? We have to have children or we don't exist anymore as a species. But I feel like a culture and the species thing, those used to coincide. Now, the survival of the species has to compete against a nihilist culture in order to stand a chance. And it frankly feels a little bit like the nihilism is winning, like the hopelessness and the despair. Like, as despairing as it might seem to be alone, walking around in the middle of nowhere, you resonate less with others who are in despair when you're alone. So much of what seems like the antithesis of despair now, it's not joy. It's like buying stuff. And so we are like, oh, how do I eradicate these negative feelings? Well, there's surely a product or an experience that I can attain. But I'm just saying that we live in a culture. We don't anymore. And so that's why I'm here with you right now. Because we're the remnant that maybe is cluing in to how awesome it is to have community and closeness and trust. How do you even get that? How do you even get that? I mean, is it even possible to get trust? You know what I mean? The benefit of all people. The problem with groups is that there's always a beautiful one or four or five. They're beautiful ones. Not everybody is spawned into the game of life attractive. And so those people are in the group with the beautiful people. How do you deal with that? How do you fix that? Because there are always going to be people who trust like the tallest, most beautiful person the most. Isn't that instinct? You have to override instinct. That's why, you know, men are very competitive. Every inch below 6 feet, man has to make $100,000 a year extra. That was like $2,000. So, and that's not there probably is a scientific journal article to that effect, but I'm not citing one. I think it's a general rule or an understanding. And so, being here with you is a gift. It used to be me just alone. Now, you're here. And I don't even know who you are. Like, this is the alien looking at me. This camera is the alien looking at me. And when I say alien, what I mean is that organic life, like humans, and our ability to do abductive reasoning, we create this technology in our image. But it could be that the technology, we're the most stable memory platform known. Our mitochondria, like, goes through generation after generation after generation. There's no, you put it on a DVD, you put it on a CD, it's gonna last that long. Like, information isn't static in the universe. But some of our information is apparently the most static known substance. And so we're special in that regard. But our technology can be made durable to a wider range of environments than our organic technology. And so it could be, if there are artifacts of intelligent life in the universe, if there are aliens, they're not the organoids who built, they're the technology that's still around. And it was just coded with a mission. Now, that mission may not be benevolent or whatever, but nonetheless, that's how that has to go. That's just how that has to go down. And so I wonder sometimes. The San Luis Valley, where I am, is a UFO hotspot. And I think that if you were to know factually, like, about UFOs, know those things, if there are facts, let me phrase it this way, if facts do exist about UFOs, and you know about them, then I feel bad for you, because that can't work out well, because those aren't the kind of facts you're supposed to know about. And so it's best not to know about those kind of facts, because that's going to turn out badly for you. So what's best is to just speculate and just have this kind of, like, game where you talk about how cool Star Trek teleporters are, how, you know, they can teleport an entire moon now in Star Wars or something, you know? And so everybody can just have this, oh, popular mechanics version of science, and you can stay away from the technology that's potentially a little more advanced. You can stay away from that. You can avoid knowing too much, because you don't want to know too much, man. Especially about that subject. You don't want to know too much about that. Well, it's lovely. I'm walking in armor and I'm not sweating. I feel great. I have layers on underneath as well. But it is cold at night. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people can't handle the cold. It's definitely not their preferred state. I have to handle the cold to have the beauty. Sometimes the beauty is very cold. Sometimes the beauty is very hot. Sometimes the beauty is just right. But whatever you have to endure, you do it for beauty. And so I will endure high weirdness to be at a UFO holiday in the San Luis Valley with you guys. And I'm looking forward. This is the 6th annual UFO holiday. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys for more of them. Now you might be like, hey dude, I like to go to venues and, like, have a good time and, like, do whatever that is. And maybe, and this is me putting words in your mouth, I don't want to go walk around a desert and just talk to some guy who rambles to himself for hours. Yeah, man, I don't want that either. Like, I'll disappear, I just ghost. But I like to bring people out here and dump them off and watch them from, like, the mountains, some high-powered glass. And so that's fun. That's what I'm inviting you on, a chance to be abducted by aliens. I bring them in. See, these are the secrets you weren't supposed to know. I bring the people in, they take them out. And you come back feeling good. You're rejuvenated. And that's what it's really all about. We need to make you rejuvenated. I'm being sarcastic. It's really hard not to be sarcastic. All I am now is sarcasm. And sadly, it seems like many of my sarcasms, those witticisms, prophecy. So a lot of things have happened maybe because of me. I wonder if I'm the one who's cracking the egg, spilling the contents out onto this world. That would mean it's a very solipsistic worldview, that my playthrough is like all these characters are generated for this playthrough of this soul, the only soul in the playthrough. Now, seems highly suspect. Only like extremely powerful, sophisticated computers able to render this kind of thing with some kind of a stochastic, you know, initial, like the initial condition can result with a, you know, an outcome that can't be predicted. Like, if life is that, then everyone I know, they're there to have dialogue and like experience, like they render into my consciousness. But what would be the engine rendering them? And for what purpose? Like, I try to imagine that I'm every single person, all of the different experiences. And so I don't want to judge. I don't want to judge people too harshly. I want to be really careful about that because I don't have perfect knowledge. And so I don't want to stand in judgment. Now, as a civil society based on rules, you can be called to judgment, and you can be judged by your peers. I guess that system's worked out pretty well overall, but you see, we're getting into this tribalism. I call it a cultural centrifuge, and we're trying to distill people out based on finer and finer grained details until there is no society anymore. There's just pockets of rage and people who are somehow empowered enough to ignore it. That's makes me sad. I think we have a great thing. Is it perfect? No. But we can build a more perfect union of all of us. Not dividing us. We don't want to be divided. We need to be united. There's been a lot of poison poured into our education. Some of it was billed as medicine. Some of it was hidden away. We're a nation that has a long, weird history, but in fact it's not that long. It's just a couple hundred years. It's a great experiment. Everyone here is supposed to have an opportunity to do better. Clearly, there are ways you can play this game to absolutely slay it. Clearly, people don't like those slayers, those entrepreneurs. But we want talent to be rewarded. We want people to create based on whatever incentives work best. And the incentives that work best are beauty, speed. And so you know, let people be successful. Get out of their way. Now we've convinced people that the world is gonna die. You better watch out, man. The world could kill us at